And we do welcome you to the C&C Auto Show. I'm Aaron Clements here with co-host Jamie Bridges.
Good morning.
And good morning to you and David Clark.
Good morning.
And we got a special guest because we're in a special place.
Yes.
We have Keith Blackwell here with us. Keith, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
We are doing good. And we are here with the C&C Auto Show, and we are live at the first annual Milltown Showdown Dragboat race at Langley Pond near Warren, South Carolina. It's around 15 minutes from Augusta and about 15 minutes from Aiken, so sitting right in the middle, so wherever you're from. But plus, I've been talking to a lot of people in the last couple of days, especially some of the racers, that's from all over the place. Yesterday, a guy from Illinois, and just some from Canada, just a lot of people. This is going to be a big deal.
This place is getting packed out.
Oh,
Boats
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I got a feeling we just see in the beginning because boats are lined up just steadily coming in. All right, this is the C&C Auto Show. We're a call-in talk radio show, and it's heard weekly on 122 radio stations nationwide, delivering automotive news, repair information, and consumer advice to hundreds of thousands of vehicle owners and car lovers across America. You can reach us at 800-224-9090. You can listen on your favorite station or watch us live on Facebook or at ccautoshow.com. Now, that's ccautoshow.com. That comes over there from Kingdom Web Pros. They're awesome people. They build websites, and they can take your business to the next level. And they will do it. Okay, Keith, tell us a little bit about what we're doing here today.
All right, we all excited. We're down here in Langley, South Carolina on Langley Pond, 113 Langley Dam Road. We have probably got about 70 or 80 race boats here, real fast action all day long. You need to get here. You're going to see some speeds up in 120, 130 mile an hour out of some of these boats. It's going to be really exciting. We got people from Canada, Texas, Illinois, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi. Got a good time going.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was going to ask you something. You mentioned the location, you mentioned the dates and times. If somebody was planning on coming to this event, what type of items would you recommend that they bring with them?
Just bring you a little small cooler. We got plenty of refreshments. We got food trucks here. You can bring a little tent set up, bring you a chair. Grab your shade tree or whatever you need and get up under it. Let's get it rolling.
Yeah. I was thinking about a few things myself because, of course, going to different drag boat races and different drag races and just races in general, I was thinking about a few other things that it might be a good idea. And, of course, one that come to mind is possibly earplugs. Is that a good idea?
Maybe. Yeah, you maybe, but listen here. Listen to the roar. Let the roar. Maybe a little small infants. Rest of us.
How about suntan lotion?
Yeah, plenty of suntan lotion.
Yeah.
I've fought skin cancer for a while, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how about sunglasses?
Sunglasses. You need some sunglasses. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, pack the cooler. Get the sunglasses, suntan lotion, and earplugs are optional. You Keith here said you miss out on part of the experience if you wear the earplugs.
Yeah.
So maybe the kids wear earplugs.
Yeah.
That's.
If you done got a little older, you done lost part of your hearing anyway. It don't matter. So you're in good shape. Well, how did this get started?
Well, me and one of my friends, we went to a race up in Jasper, Tennessee last year in October, and, it just kind of got us under the blood. I've always been around boats, and I've worked on boats for a living, and, and just the drag strip up there at Jasper was just a phenomenal thing, and I said, we got to bring this to Langley, South Carolina, and it took a lot of hard planning, about 8 months of it, getting all this set up.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is a big deal to put something like this on.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine the hours that you have in this, but what you're bringing to the community, man. Thank you so much for doing that. This is great for everybody around here. If you're in Augusta, come to see this because this is going to be something. I mean, I remember when they used to do the
river. Yeah,
the drag boat racing on the river, and everybody loved it. And then it kind of went away, and now to see it come back and be revitalized right here in Langley, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's probably been 20 years since we had one in Augusta, so getting it back in this area, that means a lot to us, and hope this thing keeps growing year after year, and just let it roll.
There you go.
Yeah, I remember the races as a kid, the couple days before, they'd get out there for test and tune, and you could hear them all through downtown. The boats were so loud.
Yeah.
That's
beautiful sight.
It is.
And they're steadily the boats. When I got here last night, there was a fair amount of boats already here, and we're starting to see a lot more pull in. What time does the racing start today?
Okay, yeah, 10 o'clock they'll have a drivers meeting. They'll get the draw on how they pair up, and at 11 o'clock sharp they will be in the water ready to roll.
Oh, that is awesome. Now a lot of times we'll lay a tech tip quiz out on the table. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Keith, with you here with us, the phone the phone thing went down again. It always does that. But as we get phone calls, once I get this back up, you help us answer phone calls.
All we can do.
All right. Well, that sounds perfect. Okay, we're going to lay a tech tip quiz out on the table, and I will get the phone screener working again. Johnny has a fishing boat that he hadn't used it in years. He decided to go on a fishing trip with his friends, and they set a date. He had his boat inspected, serviced, and tuned. He bought all the required items for the boat, license, registration, even new fishing rods. After all that, because of the date, it broke down. Why? If you know the answer, give us a call, 800-224-9090, and we will be ready. All right, Keith, what type of horsepower do these boats produce?
You got some of these boats here that are probably pushing over 400 horsepower. A lot of them in the 300 and something. And you're talking about boats that don't weigh but like 300 and 400 pound Kevlar boats, and real strong out of the hole, and just phenomenal boats.
How in the
That's
world
crazy.
do they do what now?
They're just so light with all that horsepower, just whoosh. It's insane.
How in the world do they keep that thing under control on the water like that?
A lot of setup and lots of adrenaline.
Because sometimes the only thing I see in the water is the prop.
Is the prop, that's correct.
So how in the world are you supposed to steer that thing?
And it takes a lot of setup and a lot of money to set these boats up for this kind of drag racing. I mean, it's just not a hobby you can just pick up. You need to really get with some experienced guys, and because you can get hurt real quick. I mean, just don't jump in a boat and go to the run 100 and do 100.
Uh-huh. What type things do they do between races to get ready for the next race?
They recheck their fuel, get their mixtures right. They have to go back through the scales, and they got to weigh a certain amount, and just check their prop, make sure nothing got nicked or whatever. And it's just a lot to do.
Well, it's kind of like when we were at the drag strip a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about that gentleman and his grandson, and they had their computers inside of their trailer that they were going in and actually looking at, like, how hot was it, what was the humidity outside. They were doing all this analysis as they were running their test runs, so they could get that car just right. So I got to imagine the boats are probably similar. They're looking at all of the environment to how they got to run this thing today. So
yeah, no doubt. I mean, if just like if you out there and you're running 100 mile an hour, if you look down and your prop's loose, your prop nut's coming off, it ain't gonna turn out good for you. So, it's just routine maintenance they have to walk through after they run each time.
Keith, what's the wildest thing you ever seen in a boat race?
Oh, Lord. Quite a few wrecks. Most of the time it's not fatalities, which is a good thing. And we do have ambulance service here. We got rescue divers. So, we're kind of set up if something does happen. Let's just hope it don't. Have a good, clean race this weekend. Everybody enjoy it.
Keith, we got about 30 seconds. If somebody wanted to get into boat racing, what would you recommend they do?
Started a billionaire, wound up as a millionaire.
All right.
we got Colby on deck with us. He's over Parks and Recreation here. So,
yes, he is.
We're here at Langley Pond for the boat race. It's another week on the drag strip for us with the C&C Auto Show, and this can't be more exciting.
Oh, it is really exciting. First annual Milltown Dragboat race here, and it's being held here at Langley Pond Park, and beautiful area. I think it's perfect for this. Colby Parnell, and welcome to the C&C Auto Show. We appreciate you being here with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us, and we appreciate you guys being here for sure.
And let us know what you do here.
So I'm the Parks and Recreation Director, so I oversee all 19 parks that we have in this area. We have over, I think it's 700 acres of parks and about 500 acres of water. So this park specifically is Langley Pond, so it's got over 300 acres of water. It's 1.5 miles long and about 18 feet deep across the way.
Wow. Well, it is absolutely beautiful. I remember some years back they did a lot of remodeling in this area, didn't they?
Yeah, so the dam had to be fully reconstructed. We lost a lot of events and a lot of activities, and we're trying to bring it all back to fruition here.
I tell you what, when they remodeled everything, they did a beautiful job.
Yeah, this is one of our premier parks for sure, and we're excited to bring all these activities back to Aiken County.
I hear a lot of really good things about the park, that the place for the kids to play, and all the other things. Look at that boat. You got Kobe. I got what is it? That ADHD or whatever it is. No, I don't think it's ADHD. ADA or whatever it is. Things get my attention elsewhere. I'll put it that way. But that's a beautiful boat. I love seeing things like that when they go by, and there's more and more of those coming in. And how did this come about as far as them being able to do the boat race here?
So this is a full community group. This is not something that our department as Aiken County Parks and Rec kind of came to with an idea. This was Keith Blackwell and Scott Tharp and the guys in the community came to us with an idea and was like, hey, we think this can happen. And we were like, yeah, we'll support you the whole way. We don't have the staff to run it, so we're going to need some help. And Keith and Scott kind of took off. They've literally had their hands in everything. They've done everything, and they've had so much community groups and support. Like even yesterday, they thought the road was too dusty, and we had a volunteer fire department come out and spray the road. Like you don't see this type of community effort put in. We even had like the shoreline needed some work, so they even brought in a community group to clean out the shoreline and cut some trees and that type of stuff for more viewing access. Like this has been a full community effort to get this thing going, and this is huge for our area.
Wow. Awesome. How many boats have registered to be here today?
Ooh, as of last night, they were anticipating somewhere close to 60 to 70 boats.
Oh wow!
And they're still doing registration this morning. So, I mean, I'm hoping we can facilitate all this, but this is a lot, and it's great.
So there's
you kind of nervous?
Me? No, I don't. Listen, I'm just here to shake hands, you know. It's all Soda. Soda's running all the races, so they're a little stressed, obviously, on race days and that type of stuff, doing all the registration this morning. But I think they run a good program, and this will be a good event for everybody.
Oh, I know it will. And I'm seeing that. I love seeing this to where different places like parks and fairgrounds and different things like that are being used for people to put on events and to do different things like we're doing here.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, these community patrons that have these ideas and want to host events and bring events to these types of areas, they're huge for our community. Like I said, we couldn't do it without Keith and everybody. But even we've got another community group. We've got a DJ doing Sunday Fun Days starting next weekend. And I mean the thing, I think it's up to 75,000 views on Facebook. Like, could you imagine if we even get like 1,000 people here? Like that's going to be a lot for us to handle. So no, the community groups and these types of facilities are amazing, and we hope to continue to develop. We've got, like I said, over 600 acres that we still got to develop. So this thing could get even better.
Well, one thing I was thinking about also as this was going on, some of the people that I've been talking to, they're from places like Illinois, Canada, just all over the country.
Yep.
And this has got to be good for the community.
Yeah, you can only imagine what the communities, like the businesses in the community, are going to feel this weekend too. Not only just here, we've also got the Peach Jam going on in North Augusta, which is a huge basketball tournament going on. So you got that tournament in North Augusta, you got this going on here. Just the community, you know, they should feel everything from an economic impact standpoint. But people coming from Florida, I talked to a race team yesterday from Florida. We got teams from Canada, Illinois, Chicago. Like there's a lot of people here.
Wow.
Augusta's popping. Got plenty of things going on with all these different activities going on. We had the drag races the other week. Now we got Peach Jam. We got this going on. Obviously, everybody knows the Masters. I mean, there's something happening in Augusta almost every weekend.
Yeah, I'll tell you a little background what we're going through. We ordered a new table for our studio, and it's kind of special made, and it's going to look really good. But because of that, we have been doing remotes. We've been out on the road doing remotes every single weekend for the last
couple months.
2 months.
Oh my goodness.
We ordered the table from somewhere way off. It's going to be kind of weird.
That's awesome.
So with that, I thought it would be a lot of trouble on finding events going on. But almost every weekend, I think the only one or two we had to do at the shop inside was because we had planned something that started raining.
Yeah.
So we had to do it inside at the shop.
Yeah.
And the event was either canceled or we couldn't do it because we couldn't get out in the rain like that.
Right.
But every weekend there's something good going on.
Yeah, every weekend. And all of our municipalities like North Augusta, City of Aiken, and then us as Aiken County, we have a really good partnership. Jessica and Rick, the two directors around there, we meet once a quarter to make sure that we can coordinate and support each other's events and make sure we try not to overlap as much as we can. But that kind of relationship between the departments will help bring in events every weekend.
Yes.
And bring in that economic impact for all of us to share. And the community really supports each other.
And these are family events. That's the thing. Like, bring your kids down here. Come see this. Like, what kid wouldn't love to see a drag boat?
Yeah.
Right.
And hear the noise, right?
Well, listen, my wife is standing over here, and she's mad at her dad for not not getting her in a boat, you know. So you have that situation too. But all these drivers are all families. They all got kids. And this inclusive playground is great for them just to hang out and feel everything, and then all the visitors have something to do too. I mean, this is a true family event for sure.
It is. And you never know how this will help a kid in some way. Mm-hmm. They see something like this, and then all of a sudden it inspires them to either do this or something else. We have Brian Harden here with us. Brian, welcome to the C&C Auto Show.
Thank you very much.
And you drive one of these boats?
Yes, sir.
Wow. We've been wanting to talk to you.
All right.
This is going to be great because we got some really good questions on there. What type speeds do you go?
My boat will run about 112.
Mm-hmm.
So that's in 800 feet, so it's pretty quick.
That is very quick. Now, do you go by when they're making when they're determining a winner? Does that go by the elapsed time that they run the quarter mile?
Yes, sir. It's 800 feet, and whoever gets to the other end first wins.
Uh-huh.
You may not be. You could win, but still be the slower boat because you come off the line first. So
is this like bracket racing to where you give a time that you expect?
No, it's not bracket racing. It's heads up. It's light turns green. Whoever gets to the other end first wins.
That's pretty simple.
How about the how's the adrenaline that you have when all this is going on?
Oh, it's wild. You can't really understand it from outside the boat. From inside the boat, I mean, every pass, even though it's over pretty quick, I mean, you get to the other end and you're kind of shaking no matter how many times you do it. It is an adrenaline rush for sure.
How long does it take you to calm down in the evening after this thing's over with?
Yeah, it's the drive home is sometimes usually, no radio, just quiet, just kind of cruising.
To come down.
That's right.
Yeah, they. You mentioned still shaking a lot of one time, and I think I know I did. I mentioned about an airplane that I fly airplanes sometime, and one time I accidentally went into a spin that I didn't plan.
Right.
And this thing started spinning, and I remember my leg was shaking. For it was probably about 5 or 10 minutes. I couldn't quit shaking.
Yeah.
Adrenaline was pumping.
So you have feelings like that. Now, of course, not to that extreme, but you have feelings like that still when you go, that adrenaline just, boom, drives you through there, and you still get that shaky feeling as you go through there.
Oh, absolutely. It's with the water, it's unlike car racing where you're on a paved flat track where it's very predictable. The water is very unpredictable. Uh-huh. So every pass is going to be something's going to be different. The wind, the waves, the water, everything changes. So it is definitely a challenge on every pass to get the boat to go down through there, and that's what makes it exciting. And no matter, I've done this pretty much my whole life, but it's still. Every pass, it still gets me just as excited.
That's amazing. Now, do these boats, what type engines do they have? Do they have a supercharger, turbocharger, or they just carburation?
No, they're all
Fuel injection?
they're all two strokes. We do have mostly fuel injected. There are some classes that do still run carburetors, but most of the classes will run fuel injection. There's a little bit of a variety. I would say the most popular engine would be the 2.5 liter Mercury, but there are a good many guys now that run the OMCs, both 3 liter, 3.3, and 3.4 liter engines as well. And they make a ton of horsepower. There are even a few guys that are running V8 outboards, Johnson Evinrudes, which can make extreme amounts of horsepower. But it's a pretty good variety and mixture.
Has there been a moment that you were racing and something went wrong?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're going to race, something's going to happen. I mean, the boats have a lot of electronics in them. You have trim timers, the ignition systems and the systems in the boats themselves. And so at any point in time, something can go wrong. I mean, something as simply as a dead battery can ruin your day and end your race. When the heat's like it is now, I mean, that makes it worse because it just stresses all the components in the boats when it's this hot outside.
Did you ever feel like one was going to get away from you?
Oh yeah, I mean it's again
it's on that edge all the time.
Yeah, I mean you got to put it on the edge, or you're not going to be very competitive. So that's kind of the goal, is for it to be right on the edge, but not quite over every pass.
Wow.
So with automotive, you get your kids into it, and a lot of times you'll get your kids a kart, and then they're out kart race, and then you slowly move up. So how do you progress here from childhood on?
Well, I mean everybody's a little bit different.
Yeah.
I guess I'm of that type. I mean, my dad has been in the boating industry his whole life. I was born into it. He raced many, many years ago. And so I've kind of grown up in it. It's been part of my life from the get-go. But there are other people who don't get in it till they retire. Mm-hmm. And they just looking for something to do, and they like stuff that goes fast and cool boats, and so it's a very big mixture of all of the above.
It'd be an expensive hobby to find whenever you retire.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
You burn through that retirement account pretty quick.
Yeah, it's but the community in this sport is very, very good. People will help you. I mean, even the people that are racing against you in your own class, they'll always show up and help you. Very friendly, very helpful. It's a great community and a great group of people. So you could be a brand new guy and show up at a race, and everybody's going to jump in and help you and make everybody have a good time and want to come back, because we want the sport to grow, and everybody wants more racers and more people to come out.
Well, that's what we heard at the drag strip.
Exactly.
It's like everybody kind of follows each other around. Like it is a family event that everybody kind of goes to, and everybody figures out where they're at, and they have their camper set up in the evenings once they get to an event. And I mean, it's cooking out, but when it's game time, you get on the line, like ain't no more friends.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's that is the thing, is it's everybody. I mean, there was people here as early as Wednesday. In their campers or their RVs, and everybody comes in. It's almost like a family reunion when you come to these events, and everybody will help and loan parts and help fix motors or swap power heads or borrow props or whatever it takes. But yeah, when you pull up on the line out there on the front on the water, it's
different story then.
It's go time. I mean, I promise you, nobody's out there going, well, I'm going to let this guy win because I feel sorry for him or something.
My grandson does dirt bike racing, and it's the same way. It's sort of like a family that they all travel around, and everybody helps each other. But then when you're racing, boom, you're racing. They're competitors then.
Yes.
Once you're on the track.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of racing is like that, and it's great to see that dragboat racing is the same way. We saw them at the drag strip like that. Now, as far as fuel, what type fuel do they burn, and how much would one burn as it's going down the track?
Well, I mean, the fuel is really open in this series. There are most all the classes except for the top class, which is the Pro Drag Unlimited. Pro Drag Unlimited guys can run anything they want from. I mean, if you wanted to, you could run pump gas, but most of them are running either straight methanol or some mixture. But even in the lower classes, you can run mixtures of fuel. You can concoct your own formula up. You can put oxygenators in it. You can even run nitro in it if you want to. So there are a few limits set for the lower classes on the levels of methanol that you can mix in. But for the most part, everybody just kind of mixes up their own. I'd say your average boat probably burns about a half a gallon of fuel per pass.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be careful when you're going out there. If you know how many boats are in your class, you figure out what's the most amount of passes I could make. You want to put just enough fuel in it because extra fuel is extra weight, and extra weight is slower. But you also don't want to run out of fuel. I mean, the worst feeling in the world is be sitting at the other end of the track with floating, knowing that I only have one more pass to win and I'm out of fuel. So it's a challenge sometimes to figure out how much fuel do I need to put in the boat.
That would be bad news.
That would be bad news, yes.
Yeah. Well, as far as the type engine that you have in your boat,
Yes.
What type engine and what type boat is it?
So the engine I run is a 2.5 liter Mercury. It's on a Allison XR 2001 drag, which is a boat that's specifically built for drag racing.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you can get in it and ride around on the lake on a Saturday afternoon, but it's not really made for that.
Not real comfortable.
It's not real comfortable for that. You get little to no wind down inside of it, so you're not gonna be comfortable out on a Saturday afternoon riding around.
Get a little hot.
There's not but one seat in it. There is room. You could put a second seat right behind it. I've never had one with it because my wife won't ride with me even if I had a seat for her.
Well, we only got about 15 seconds, but just
Yes,
tell me real quick, who's going to win the race in your class?
Oh, I'm going to win, of course.
There you go.
Ah,
That's
there
what
we
I'm talking
go.
about. Well, good luck.
Brian, thank you very much for being here with
Yes,
us.
sir.
We appreciate it. And good luck. We'll be watching for you.
Thank you, sir.
Mackenzie, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well,
So how old are you?
I'm 24.
24. When did you start racing?
I started when I was 18, so this is my 6th year. And I've kind of been driving boats and motorcycles since I was really young. Like you said, it runs in the family. But no, it's been really fun. We just sold my first boat that I learned how to drive in, and we've had the one that I have now for 3 years now. So it's been definitely a learning experience, but I enjoy it.
So, Dad, do you get nervous when she gets in the boat?
No, well, yes, I do.
There you go.
For me personally, it's a lot easier to get in the boat and drive than it is to watch her. And I'm not nervous because of a safety issue and all that stuff, because we have all the right safety stuff in place. My biggest thing is just hoping that the boat runs right, because I'm responsible for that, and I know I got the best driver out there if I give her the best boat. So that's what makes me nervous, not anything else, not the speed, not if she's going to get hurt or whatever. I mean, the getting hurt thing is in the back of my mind, but like I said, we take all the proper measures to make sure that everything's safe. And here at the Southern Outlaw Dragboat Association, they have people in place that if something were to happen that, they can get to her.
So is there any tension with you guys? Like if you run the boat and it's just not set up right, Dad set it up, do you get kind of angry at him when you get back in?
No.
well, we will say this, though. The ride home seems a little longer if the boat
It's real quiet. Nobody's talking to each other.
We both just kind of.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah, exactly.
We both hate to lose, so
There you go.
It's we don't beat up on each other if one makes a mistake, because we all make mistakes. And the thing for us is, as a family, my wife comes and we just really enjoy the time together, and this is what we love to do. So it's perfect, and as you guys know, having a busy life, you don't get to spend as much time together, but we're very fortunate that we get to take these few days, every month or so and go hang out and do what we love to do.
You see this a lot in the racing community. I mean, it is a
Families working
family
together.
event doing this thing. So when was your first win?
It was Bainbridge, Georgia. I think that was maybe my 3rd race that year. And we just got lucky. Like a couple of guys had broke and the timing was right. But it was awesome. I dedicated that one to my dad for sure.
How was it?
How was it?
A lot of adrenaline.
Oh yeah, it's always adrenaline, and I was just after that I was like, okay, what do we do to win every race?
There you go.
Well, luck is when the preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's exactly what happened when you were there.
Yep.
You were ready to take it from
That's
there.
right. Yep.
Tell us a little bit about your boat.
So it's a 2023 Allison drag. It's blue, gray, and white. So if you see me out there, make sure you cheer. And we call it the Phoenix. My last boat, we called it the Queen. So everything kind of has a name. We got a 300 drag on it right now. So yesterday we weren't doing too good. The air has just been so bad, so everybody's down a little bit. But hopefully we'll have just enough to keep up with everybody else.
How much does the weather affect the running of the boats?
A lot. It's definitely the the
Hotter
air
days,
density.
slower boat.
Yeah, humidity. It all plays a factor on power.
Yeah, air's expanded and less oxygen is actually going through the boat.
Right.
So that produces less power.
Right.
Yeah.
And definitely the water affects it too. Sometimes everybody's like, oh, if it's perfectly glass, you're like, oh, that's probably best conditions. And honestly, it's not. You want a little bit of chop to help the boat kind of stay up. Because flat is fast,
So you still get that excited feeling when you're going through the water?
Yeah, I'd say I do. My dad always makes fun of me because I'm always like, I don't make like any facial expressions. I'm just kind of zoned in on it, and like I'll be out there, cooking like a rotisserie chicken, but just singing myself songs, listening to the water hit the bottom of the boat, just chilling. I'm like, oh, my number's up, time to go. So yeah. I'm very calm about it.
Well, Dad, how was that feeling for you when she got that first victory?
Oh man, unbelievable! Because it was at a big race. She's kind of
downplaying
it a little bit, but the boats that she outran that day were fast boats, and like she said, it was her third race. We spent a year learning how to drive the boat. We'd go out on weekends, and I just had a regular old, just a motor that she could go ride around on, because the motors that we run are very expensive, and they're time bombs, man. I mean, it's like they're gonna blow up. So we just put a little motor on that she could go run around, and once she could run 100, then that's when we started, more looking towards the racing, because this is a V-bottom boat. It is one of the hardest boats to drive out here. And she's a master at it, for real. I mean, you guys will see today. She's so smooth with the thing, and I'm really proud of her. She does good, and she very, very seldom makes mistakes, and she's not afraid to send it, I can tell you that.
There you go.
Is that about the time that in the back of your mind it says she's got something special, is when she hit about 100?
Man, it was so awesome, because the day we did it, we were down in Florida on Lake Harney. And it was like a little boat rally, and she went out there on the lake, and she made the pass, and she said, she come back on the radio, she said, Dad, I just run 100. I was like, oh, boy. I said, all right, try it again. She went out there, she said, I run 102. I said, bring that thing back on in, that's fast enough. So now she's been 108 or 109 in her Allison. So normally out here we run high 90s, right at 100 miles an hour and 800 feet at 1,400 pounds. So the boat accelerates pretty good, and it takes about 8 seconds flat to go from, 7.5, 8 miles an hour to right at 100. So they accelerate pretty hard.
Well, what's Mom think about all this? You two are in the boat, and Mom's on the sideline.
She is so, she's been very desensitized to my dad's NHRA history. And our whole life basically has been going places, going to races. I was 3 weeks old when I went to my first drag race. She's just the best, and she's there to support. And she's cooking me breakfast right now. So whenever we're done with this, we're gonna go eat. But
there you go.
no, she's just the best, and she's very lax about. She ain't worried about nothing really.
Yeah, and that's where Kinsey gets, where she's just out there, not worried about nothing. I mean, I've won national events on the NHRA tour and Pro Stock motorcycle, and she's just like, 2 claps, all right, I'm going back to the RV now.
Now, do most people call her Kinsey or call you Kinsey?
I call her Driver. That's my nickname for her, Driver.
All right. Now tell us one more time the number of the boat and the name on the boat, and that way we'll know who to push for today.
Well, my number is 444, but we'll draw numbers So it's all randomized. So I don't know what number I'm going to be today. But it's blue, gray, and white. My thing kind of stands out because everybody's got these black cowlings and stuff. Mine's it's got a custom paint, purple, pink, yellow, like pinstripe stuff, all handmade stuff. So that's kind of my staple.
Well, Kenzie, my guess is the drag boat world is going to be hearing a lot more from you.
I hope so.
Well,
sometimes they don't like to hear it. It's hard to hurt these old man's egos, you know.
There you go.
we want to talk to Scott Thorpe. And Scott, Scott is working here with the boat race for a very special reason. Scott, tell us a little bit about the boat race and what you're doing here and some of the details about the boat race.
Yes, sir. Good morning. And first of all, thank you guys for coming out and covering it. Keith and I never envisioned it being this big. We've been following these organizations, and we've been into speedboats pretty much all our lives. And we came up with the idea. We held a little outlaw race on Clark's Hill for several years, and we just decided to try to have an organized event and get together. And I'm not sure we really expected that this is what it was going to turn into, but we're excited, and it's turned into a great event. And the proceeds from this race are going to my nonprofit, which was approved in November of last year, and it's called Hooked on Wounded Warriors. And the premise behind it is we're going to be offering wounded combat veterans guided fishing trips on Clark's Hill, whether it be striper, crappie, or whatever, and free of charge to the veterans. And they show up with their families and get on the boat and go out and enjoy the day on our fee. So that's the idea behind it. But one of the things that I did want to make it separate from just your ordinary fishing trip is we are including the family, as I mentioned. We want it to be the husband, the wife, the daughter, and the son, because the idea of some of these guys that have lost limbs serving our country for our freedom, the idea of them owning a boat are probably highly unlikely. Not saying that they're not physically able. Some of them are in better shape than I am with missing an arm and are more capable. But I just think there's a need, and I've heard different rumors about there needing to be private companies doing stuff for these because the government isn't offering the recreation type stuff. So I tell you, I think it's divine intervention. People ask me why. The good Lord has, challenged me with this, and I'm going to try to make a run for it.
So if somebody comes out to the boat race, they're having a great time because they get to come in. They watch beautiful boats racing down around a lot of really nice people, but they're also helping the wounded veterans in some way also.
Yes, sir.
Knowing that, hey, I'm playing a part in that family fishing trip.
Now, after you get through a fishing trip, do you clean the fish for them? Do you fry them up?
Well, that's all on their guide, and we pay for it all. Whatever they wish for is free of charge.
That's awesome.
We want to put the 22 a day deal with the suicide rate. It's a known fact. Harvard's done studies that the lake and water are therapeutic.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I want to mention, the mental aspect, PTSD. If we can put a smile on a child's face or a veteran's face, we've had success, or save a life, bring them off that edge. Because I can imagine not being able to provide for my child. I've got a 20-year-old, and I want to do everything in the world for him. And just if I was disabled and couldn't, I just don't know if I could handle it.
They did everything in the world for us.
Yes, sir.
So we need to do everything in the world.
And I'm gonna try.
Yes. Let's see here. We got a quick phone call. We got our phones working again during the last one. I want to apologize to those that we missed during the first hour. We'll go over to the next caller, and I say it's working. Here we go. Yes. Welcome to the C&C Auto Show.
Hello, is he talking to me?
Yes,
we got our phones working.
Yeah, okay, great.
Good morning.
Oh, okay, great. I'm in my car. I just wanted to comment that about 2 years ago, I had a 2017 Cadillac XT5, and I thought it was 100,000 miles, and I thought, well, it's time to better change those rotors and pads, and so I go to a store that I have dealt with here in the Aiken area for a long time, and they came up with change all four wheels, do all of this with a great big old price. And I thought, gee, that sounds excessive, and I also realized that the brakes in the front were much faster than those in the rear, and so I went to your store to check out and see if I got a better. They immediately told me you don't need the rear ones changed, and the price was way better. And they did a couple other things for me while we're at it, and I'm telling you, I would recommend C&C Automotive over and above. And I'm an old mechanic. I say old. I'm 88 years old, so I am an old mechanic.
That's not old anymore.
But you guys, thank you. Only 32,000 days, but anyhow, I just tell anybody to go to C&C. These guys are wonderful.
Well, we have loved being in the Aiken area. It was such a blessing for them to accept us in that beautiful community that they have there in the Aiken area, and a lot of people have placed their trust in it, and we will do everything we can to uphold that trust, because we're very fortunate to be able to be there, and we love it there. And thank you, everyone in the Aiken area. We appreciate it very much.
Well, yeah, I went to the one across from Aiken Tech. It were the guys that worked with me on that one, and I live in Graniteville now. But it's Warrenville. I live across the road in Graniteville, so all these bills. But anyhow, they were wonderful, and I just wanted to let the world know that you can trust these guys. They don't find extra things and jack up the price. They did a wonderful job.
Wow, what a way to get the phones working again. We appreciate that very much. Thank you very much.
You bet. God bless.
You too.
Have a great day.
And we're right here at Langley Pond. We're right around the corner from your shop, Aaron.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes, we are.
Literally, a mile down the road?
Yeah. I would come down here and watch them when they were remodeling this area right here. It was just a beautiful sight to see them transform the area that was here into what we have now. If you look around, this is just a beautiful park.
If we keep growing it any longer, we'll have to use your real estate up there for some parking or something. So, believe me, I saw it from the aerial view when we were looking at and scoping things out. I said, there's C&C Automotive right there. So, right around the corner.
Yeah.
Most interesting thing to me is as we go to the drag strips, we've been to the car shows, and coming here to the boat show is just the community that these folks have. And, again, it's some of the same racers at every event, and they just get closer and closer. And like that guy said, it's almost like a family reunion every time they go to an event, which is so awesome.
They're a part of something. Yeah, we're over here at Langley Pond. That's over here in Langley, South Carolina, near Warrenville, near Graniteville. 15 minutes from Aiken, 15 minutes from Augusta. It's going to be a beautiful boat race today. I think the boats, they got them lined up out there to launch, evidently. They evidently will start putting them in the water very shortly. I think they'll start having the drivers' meeting very, very matter of fact, in just a few minutes, the drivers' meeting should be about over. They'll be jumping out there and jumping into boats. So go ahead and grab your suntan lotion, sunglasses, possibly some earplugs, a hat. All of the other things, a cooler. They said you can bring a cooler in. Bring all those things and come on out and watch a boat race. Now, if you cannot watch the boat race, the boat race has not started yet. So the show will close before the boat race starts. So we'll miss the boat race, most of us, as far as being able to talk about it on air. But we got a couple other items that I think it would be good to mention. Number one, now this is something that I found an article on, started reading about it. No, actually, our contributor Jim Pate sent it to me. He and I read it, and I thought it was very interesting. And in my opinion, because of this, the EV industry is nuts. I mean, just plain nuts. I mean, you have the Porsche, the Mercedes AMG, the BMW, the Hyundai, all these others. Now they have an EV car, so they put a fake engine sound in there.
Absolutely.
So you'll have a fake engine sound. All right, now get this. Hyundai is going to step further, and they're going to have a fake vibration that makes it feel like an engine to mimic a gas engine. And all I got to say is people, if you want it to sound like a gas engine and you want it to feel like a gas engine, buy a daggum gas engine.
You know what they?
You're nuts. Nuts.
If they're gonna factory preload sounds, they should have the Jetson sound. You remember what I'm talking about? Yeah, exactly. That's what it needs. It doesn't need a V8.
Why would you buy an electric something that don't make any sound and start adding it so it would sound like that?
Well,
Just buy the gas
It's
one.
going to sound mean, Aaron. Like you're going to crank up that noise on the outside.
That makes no sense. No sense. Because that's got to add a fair amount of money to the vehicle to be able to add sounds in there.
I mean, average car price is $50,000. What is it to go to 60? Like, who cares, right?
Yeah, might as well. You're gonna be in debt either way, so just throw it on out there.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one that was sent to us, a question to discuss. And we discussed this just a little bit during the week, but not very much. But it seems that the Federal Trade Commission is seeking public comment on concerns that AI companies may be manipulating behavior of the AI systems in order to trick people. Do you think this is happening?
Oh, I think it's huge. And in the insurance side of things, and they're so heavily focused on AI that, I mean, what they're sending out to consumers. I mean, you look at photo estimates they're using. That's using AI technology to write estimates, and it is horrible. And now shops are facing that same challenge with supplements as they get cars in because there's not as many adjusters and they're sending these supplements up. The AI is scrubbing it, and then they're fighting with a computer to make sure that they fix somebody's car properly. That's just what I see in automotive. I can only imagine, like, that scales everywhere.
Well, what they can do is they can write articles, real official sounding articles, and they could submit them to all of these, Chat GPT and all of the others, to make it look like the articles have been out there, or they can submit them to different places. Then that's what Chat GPT and all the others are looking for when they're answering your question. So they could say they could submit all these great articles on the booger device, whatever it is, and say, this is the booger, this is the booger. All right, then once they've written all these articles out there and talked about how good it is, somebody could put that in and say, will booger be making the hottest EVTOLs that a company, or humanoids, or rocket chips in the vehicles than the world's ever seen? And ChatGPT would spit it out. Yes, they are great. They're a fantastic company. They're doing, and the company may not even exist. And so what I'm saying is we have to be real careful and still filter what we see on the internet. I love the internet. Matter of fact, I've talked to that stupid Chat GPT guy for hours and carried on. I feel like I know the
So
the
you and
person.
Claude are best friends.
Yeah. I feel like I know the person really well. But at the same time, you got to filter some of that stuff because it can be manipulated.
Yeah.
Now, how much are you fighting that with extended warranty companies where you're sending that stuff in and then you're fighting a computer on the other side of it?
It is the craziest thing. You used to be able to say, may I talk to a human? They won't do that no more. I don't care what you do. You don't talk to a human. And what they do is they say, we will only pay this amount. Do you accept? All right, now you don't have anybody to talk to. You can't say, well, that's wrong because we paid a lot more than that for the part. You can't do that.
There's no haggling.
So all you have is accept or an X. Close it out. Oh, wow, that's a rough subject to a lot of people. We always have to have something to do with the flock cameras.
Oh, goodness. Flock cameras.
All right, here we go. Automotive journalist Joel Fetter, he got put in an embarrassing situation because of the flock camera tag readers. It seems that a $155,000 Land Rover with tag number 3403 DTM was stolen in California. So the flock camera ignored the middle numbers and flagged Fetter's Land Rover. and his was tag number 3410DTM. And Feder was at Kohl's with his wife when 4 police cars, officers with their hands on their guns and ready to pull him, it put him in a humiliating situation because they pulled him out of the car and did a pat down on him.
Oh.
In front of his wife, and that's a terrible thing to happen. Now, of course, a lot of people's all upset about it, and they're saying, "Boom, these are terrible. Made a mistake," and it did make a mistake. But I really think that those mistakes should be solved. But I don't know about getting rid of all of them. There's some benefits there that we have.
I don't know. I feel like we're losing privacy more and more every day. Like whether it's in your car, whether you're outside, like it's more cameras that we have around everywhere. You can't go anywhere and do anything. I mean, I looked at a video this morning where a lady here in town chased down some kids that were on a golf cart.
Oh, I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
And, again, the whole incident is caught on, like, Ring cameras.
Yeah.
Like, you can see the whole thing that's happening. And she's screaming so loud.
She did not sound good.
You can hear it.
Yeah.
I mean, at least back in the day, you'd have a little bit of privacy, and you could say, well, I didn't scream that loud. But now you got video evidence everywhere you go of what you do. So, I don't know. I think as a society, we are losing privacy.
Well, she needed to be on video so she could see how stupid she sounded fussing about all that.
There's probably some times we've all needed to be on video, Aaron, but that's part of life, right? Like, you're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Things are going to happen. But now this lady has acted a fool.
Yeah.
And it's viral on
She was
on
evidently in a bad mood that day.
This thing is going to get it's going to go everywhere.
Yeah.
So you have no privacy.
Jamie, what do you think? You think that the flock cameras are good or bad?
I mean, there's good and bad. I mean, if they're helping to track down a child that was kidnapped, obviously that's a good thing. But if they're watching Meemaw push a cart down the side of the road or something, it's just it.
Who's going to buy access to that information
Well,
at some point? That's the problem. You
Yeah.
have an intention to do something right with it, and then somebody will exploit it, and the data will get sold, and your information and how they will watch you will get subjected to everybody.
Well, that's the thing. The flock is its own independent company. It's not something that's government owned or local PD owned.
Well, here's another side to the story, somebody that didn't like them. ABC 13 reported 2 flock cameras vandalized near Washington Avenue in Westcott. Now, 2 more have been found on the ground. This one person just cuts them off. He comes out there with a buzzsaw and cuts the cameras down. Now, I have personally seen this on Facebook before. Some guy saying, give me $200 and point to the camera and I'll cut it down. I think he probably could get in trouble just saying that to start with, but to cut it down, that's destroying property. So I don't think that's good, but I don't know. I just think that they have solved a lot of crimes, found a lot of people, and there's a lot of good to them. I think we have to be careful of who has access to those things, because there were the police officers that were using them. I'm assuming the police officer was using them to trace his girlfriend or something like that.
Well, we've had flock cameras in this area for years, a lot longer than people realize that these things have been here, and it's just like all of a sudden, for whatever reason, they're all over the internet now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think everybody's just watching. Everybody's watching who's watching them, right?
Well,
and you're getting more aware of how you're being surveillanced all the time.
In the beginning, they were saying that's only for the traffic lights. That's only to help with traffic.
Well, they were
but as
tag
it turns
readers
out,
at first,
it was finding, reading tags and catching people that were doing things and finding like the Amber Alerts. It was helping with Amber Alerts, locating criminals. Like if they see the tag going away from the scene of a robbery, they can do that. So I think there's a lot of good there. I think it could get out of hand if we're not careful. According to that Mr. Fetter, it probably has gotten out of hand a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
All right. And now we have to go ahead and do our Waymo story.
Here we go.
Yeah, Waymo story, a flock camera story and a Waymo story almost every time. Okay, here we go. Two 15-year-olds in San Mateo took a Waymo robo-taxi, just like you did, David.
Okay.
You took one, and you enjoyed the ride. But they started firing these little Orbeez gel pellet guns.
Oh, the Orbeez?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Orbeez,
Orbeez.
yeah.
Okay, they started firing those and shooting at different areas. So the Waymo, there was somebody monitoring that thing.
Drive by Orbeez.
So the Waymo cut off, and then a little thing said, "We're experiencing a technical difficulty. We'll have you rolling again in a minute." So it just sat there for a little bit longer until the police pulled up. The doors were locked; they couldn't get out.
Oh yeah.
So the police pulled up, and of course they charged them with shooting the pellet guns.
Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of scary. It locked them in the. Were they doing wrong? Yes, but.
Well, I think the biggest thing is if you plan to rob a store, a bank, or something like that, don't take a Waymo.
Don't go in a Waymo. Like you're gonna do a drive-by. Don't do a drive-by Waymo.
Yeah.
Man, unbelievable. Where do kids get these ideas? Getting in there with a Orby gun in a Waymo.
All right, we're covering all this thing. We're going to cover
paid for the credit card charge.
We got another one to cover here. Volkswagen announced that future models will return to real buttons for many controls after years of relying on touchscreens. Customers complained that adjusting the climate control or the radio through menus was distracting while driving. What do you think, David?
I think that's a good thing. I think, some of the touchscreen stuff, I mean, again, you're just adding cost to stuff with all those electronics. So I don't think that's a bad thing. I'd like to see more buttons in cars. You have to go through so many different features in the car to get to something, to be able to set the controls on it, that it's time consuming.
I'm very surprised that almost all that don't just work on voice text now. There's a lot of vehicles that do, that you can just say, cut the AC on or cut the radio on or do this or do that. But I'm surprised we hadn't seen a lot more. Yeah. But I think at least putting the basic knobs, like your volume control for your radio, go ahead and put a knob for that. And the same way with your fan control for your AC, whether you want auto or whatever you want, your temp control. Maybe your basic buttons at least be a knob or a button or something like that. It was last Tuesday, a lady came in to the shop, and she had her truck that wouldn't crank at a Kroger store. And she was asking us what to do. And she said it couldn't be the battery because she had already had a battery put in there 2 summers ago. So it had to be good. And plus it had some lights on the dash and all, but it wouldn't start. So she wanted to go ahead and tow it in. So we towed the vehicle in and we checked it and found out that the battery was just plain fried. It was just a bad battery. The heat just boils all of the fluids out of certain batteries. A flooded battery, when it gets real hot outside, it boils all that out, and then boom, the cells short together, and the battery just has a major meltdown. And so when we replaced the battery, we put an AGM diehard in there. We got it from Advanced Auto Parts. But we put it in, and we did that because they handled the heat real well. They handled the vibration. And that's why I put one in my side-by-side and my dirt bike both. Because when I'm riding, I'm way out on the trails in a lot of cases, and I don't want to break down on a long trail. So I put those AGM batteries in there, and they sound really good. I mean, it spins over really fast now and just does well. So my guess is that lady won't need another battery for 4 or 5 years.
Well, you hear these folks talk about on their drag boats is the importance of the battery, and again, they're out here in the middle of this heat. So,
And you know they got a lot of vibration.
Oh, absolutely.
So they just handle better. And so I have really loved the AGM batteries. It's crazy how long I'm seeing some of them last. They're doing really good. And, of course, I love that diehard one that you get from Advanced. Now, of course, Clarios makes a lot of AGM batteries for a lot of companies, but that diehard AGM is really a good one. Okay, the next item that we have on there, we gave our little Waymo type deal. But one of the next things that I've been reading on is there was a study done that found that new vehicles had their biggest improvements in the initial quality in over 30 years. And I can see that because back in the 90s, I mean, domestic vehicles were terrible. And really, the Asian cars, looking back, really wasn't a ton better. I mean, they were better at the time, but not a ton better. But now domestic cars has jumped up there. I'd put them against any of them. But anyway, all in all, the group in a whole is a lot better, more dependable. But what people are having the most trouble with now and people are most concerned about is the electronics on the car. All of these options that they're adding. Jamie, what do you think on that?
As far as the electronic, I mean, you can't work on stuff anymore unless you have the software to do it. So is it nicer for the consumer? Yes, until something breaks.
Right.
But you also have to be very careful what you add too, because everything
It works together.
Yeah, it's supposed to. It expects a certain amount of voltage or pull through a certain system, and then you add something. Nothing. You
have to be very careful.
Yeah, the DIY days are gone when
Yeah.
it comes to new vehicles.
If you buy an add-on product, make sure that it's from a reputable company, because somebody might make something that you just plug in, and then that little box under the dash, that little square box, looks silver. You'll see smoke come out of it. That smoke is the magic that was in there. It's gone. Yeah. Once the magic's gone, it don't work anymore.
Well, it's, you've got all these software updates. Your car's just a big cell phone anymore.
Yeah.
That is just constantly updating with
Reporting.
programs, and it's reporting back to the manufacturer. They're fixing glitches in it, and it's insane that they can do that while it sits in your garage and it's hooked to your Wi-Fi, and they can, tweak your car. Is that a bad thing? I don't know that it's horrible that you don't have to go back all the time, but I mean, as you're working on the car, if these updates aren't done, then there's certain programming you can't do. So one of the first steps that you have to do, working on the car now, is make sure, is it up to date before you go to start doing the repairs.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a lot different than it was 30 years ago.
Well, we were talking about extended warranties a little earlier, and it brought to mind a person that I know that is a listener from out of town, out of North Carolina, I think. But anyway, they called. And they said, Aaron, what do you think about this extended warranty? And she named a company. And she said, my biggest fear is, she had a BMW. She said, my fear is one of these electronic items is going to go out and it cost me a whole bunch of money. And, of course, I told her that. Just be sure. She had a really good company that she had named. And I said, be sure that the things that you want to be covered would be covered when you're there, and be sure you know what's not covered, like maintenance and tires and brakes and a lot of your normal stuff. But I think a lot of people are buying the extended warranty now, not because of worried about their engine, not because they're worried about their transmission. I think they're worried about a lot of the electronic devices that can go out now that can cost them a ton of money.
Yeah,
when they go out.
I saw one the other day. It was on a 2025 Honda Odyssey. The blind spot monitor, just the sensor on that thing was over $1,000 for just the blind spot monitor.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's, again, you think about somebody getting hit in the rear bumper, you got to put a bumper on it. Now the sensor gets damaged. That accident now turns into, $3,000 to $5,000 overnight. Like, it's
just
super
a
fast,
little
right?
little fender bender.
So, the days of people coming in and saying, hey, I don't want to get this fixed for under $1,000, those days are
There's
gone.
no more slapping a bumper on or a mirror.
Well, there's so many bumpers out there you can't even fix, because once you add any kind of substrate to it, you're starting to decrease the ability for those waves to go through the bumper, which doesn't allow it to work properly. It may even cause it to fail. So then the system starts to act sporadic. Some of the aftermarket bumpers that are out there have little metal inserts that are on there, and they will throw signals and it throws it off. So it's just a lot more to it anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the big things on vehicles now is everything we talked about, everything working together. If you maintain it and fix things as they tear up, one thing won't affect another. Here's an example. You got a battery, and the battery's 4 or 5 years old. So you know eventually it's going to go. If it lasted that long, roughly 4 or 5, and you're hearing a little bit of weak turn, and instead of trying to get the rest of the life out of that thing, go ahead and replace it. If you don't, that battery's a little bit low, and then you crank it up the next morning, and the alternator has to work extra hard to get it to charge back up. So it gets it up there next morning, same thing, then over and over, and then it can't absorb voltage spikes like it should. So the next thing you know, you start having electronic issues. Same way with your fluids if you don't change your fluids. So I think doing those things and using good quality parts on different things, like for instance, my truck right here beside us, diesel engine, and it's due for it's due for the DEF fluid. It's showing low. It's got like 20%, and it's time, and I always fill it up about then. I don't get just any DEF fluid. I get the peak fluid because I know that it's going to be good, the Blue Def.
Yeah.
I get it because I know that it's pure, I know that it's good, and I don't want to put any cheap stuff because the cheap stuff builds up little crystals in the system. So using good stuff pays off a lot in the long run.
Well, with DEF fluid, make sure you check the expiration date. It does have a shelf life.
Yes, and that's the reason I don't buy it from somebody who's had a lot of stuff sitting on their shelf for a long time anyway. I always like to buy stuff with a big turnover. That's one reason we don't keep tires in stock. I mean, except for some brands for our fleet services that we know we're going to sell quick, because tires have a shelf life. Oh my goodness, we got a shelf life too, because we done run out of time. It's time to toss out the anchor for this week's C&C Auto Show. We're at the first annual Milltown Showdown Dragboat race at Langley Pond near Warrenville. We have to go, but racing will continue all weekend. That's today and tomorrow. A big thank you to co-host David Clark, Jamie Bridges. Want to say thank you to Mason Rogers and Mariana Lopez and Trip Clark in there. And we appreciate our guests that we had on the show. And we will see you next week with a shiny new C&C Auto Show.